Hello everyone, my name is Abdullah bin Salama. I'm a student in Global Environmental Health class, and my topic for today is e-waste in Guiyu, China. Table of contents. So first I will cover the purpose and objectives of the presentation, followed by a brief background about the e-waste. Next is a set of 5 variant graphs. First is a linear graph, shows a global e-waste generated. Next is about the e-waste generation per continent. After that, we will talk about the potential ecological risk factors. And after that will be a graph about air pollution. And the last one is comparison of blood lead levels in children in Guiyu and Xinjiang, China. The purpose of this presentation is to provide a brief overview of e-waste crisis, especially in Guiyu, China, using graphical data, and the e-waste damaging health and environmental effects. Before we get into the graphs, I just want to go over a relevant background information. E-waste is defined as a waste consisting of discarded electronic products such as computers, televisions, and cell phones. E-waste is the fastest growing stream of municipal waste. The majority of e-waste is shipped to, handled, and processed in low and middle income countries in Africa and Asia. E-waste is classified as hazardous waste with severe negative health and environmental effect. Common exposure occurs through inhalation, ingestion, and dermal contact. Guiyu, China is the largest e-waste dumping site in the world. An estimated 5,000 workshops and village recycle 15,000 tons of waste daily. This chart shows a steady increase of e-waste globally over the last decade, moving from 35 metric tons in 2010 to projected 50 metric tons in 2018. So it's just going to continue to rise. The second graph is a pie chart which shows the e-waste generation by continent per million tons. As we can see here, Asia is by far the largest producer of e-waste, followed by Americas and Europe. In 2016, a total of 44.7 million tons of e-waste was generated. The expected annual growth rate is 4 to 5%. Researchers looked at a few different samples in Guiyu area to create a levels of ecological risk based on each heavy metal. We can see in this chart chromium and zinc have relatively low ecological risk of the soil, while cadmium and mercury are of particularly high concern. And then all these chemicals have some carcinogenic effects, which why the residents are at risk. Another major public health implication of e-waste, both in Guiyu and other recycling sites worldwide, is air pollution. In 2018 study, researchers took dust samples in two areas of Guiyu, one from unauthorized recycling center and one from reference site. They tested each sample for the presence of 5 different heavy metals: cadmium, chromium, copper, lead, and zinc. And as we can see from this chart, the unauthorized site had higher concentrations of each metal, particularly copper and lead, when compared to the reference sample. The fifth graph that I chose to use is a comparison of blood lead levels (BLL) of children in villages of Guiyu and Xinjiang, China. Guiyu, China is largely recognized as the e-waste dumping site of the world. In the study performed by Professor Hu Chai, 165 children 6 years old or younger were tested for blood lead levels concentrations, and the lead can enter body through food, air, water, and soil. Children are particularly vulnerable to lead poisoning. Children in Xinjiang villages in the yellow color, and Guiyu is in the green color. And we can see the dramatic difference in the concentration of the blood lead levels. Summary: e-waste is a serious issue both in Guiyu and worldwide. In Guiyu, China, the largest e-waste dumping site in the world, As our global use of technology increases, the e-waste is going to continue to affect the health and environment of people in Guiyu and other e-waste sites worldwide. There is a relationship between blood lead levels and the lead exposure in children. This is the references, and if anyone interested to learn more, feel free to email me and I'm happy to send the resources. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.